Welcome back, welcome back. I'm MTG Joe. Today we're going to be starting up another budget build series, this time around red-white or Boros colors. So if you haven't tuned into any of the other budget series, basically what we do is we put together three variations of a popular deck, usually around tier 1 and in the different color pairs. What we're trying to do here is the first version is completely made out of commons and uncommons, and other than the shock lands and the dual lands. So in this case here, it's the Clifftop Retreat and the Sacred Foundry. The reason being is these are important cards to have, especially in an aggro deck. You want to make sure your lands are coming into play untapped. From there, we'll build a mid-budget version. The mid-budget version will contain about 5 to 10 different rares or mythics. And then following that, we are going to go and play a non-budget version of the deck. So for this one here, I want to build towards a existing deck, the red-white Feather decks around Feather the Redeemed. So it's the card right here. So basically the deck is looking to kind of play pump spells to get back, and then you can basically kind of Voltron is usually the kind of term that's used, and play around there. So what we'll do is we'll go budget kind of aggro version, mid-budget. We can probably put together a pretty decent Feather list. It's not too rare heavy. And then we can go the non-budget version, or like the super tailored, and we'll probably try out two variations, either the Naya, so splashing green, or the Mardu splashing black for Sorin, and see how those play out there. And then as always with this budget series, you can catch the full write-up on the Arena subreddit, where I go into detail explaining and then answer any questions that people might have. So going to the actual list itself. So in this list here, what we want to do is play cheap creatures and kind of put pressure on our opponents. So in the 1-drop slot, we have Dauntless Bodyguard, which can protect our other creatures. We have Grim Initiate, which is a first striker 1/1 that can also have the benefit of giving us another creature when it dies. The first strike is quite relevant when we have pump spells, like Defiant Strike. Defiant Strike, we're going with this as our pump spell primarily because it gets us to draw a card, helps smooth out our draw, and keeps the action going. Finally, in the 1-drop slot, we have Shock, and we're pairing it with a couple Lightning Strikes for reach to deal with Planeswalkers or just burn our opponent out. In the 2-drop slot, we have Adanto Vanguard, very hard to kill with creature if they don't play Exile. Boros Challenger, which can sink mana into it, mentor, make our other stuff bigger. 10th District Legionnaire, which is played in the non-budget version of the Feather decks. Basically, whenever you target it with a spell, you get to put an extra counter on it, and it gets to scry 1. Plus the haste as a 2-drop is quite relevant to pressure opponent, especially like if they minus a Teferi, you can smash in at them. And then on their 3-drop, basically a cheaper version of Feather in terms of rarity, but Skyknight Legionnaire, a 3-mana 2/2 flying haste. Pretty decent as a kind of closeout, and Heroic Reinforcement's kind of an anthem effect that can hopefully steal us some games. And then I wanted to try Integrity Intervention first over Samut Sprint. It doesn't give the haste effect, but it gives us the flexibility that in a pinch we could either burn the opponent or one of their creatures. Sideboard's pretty straightforward. Lava Coils for Wild Growth Walkers, anything big. Prison Realm for Super Friends. I want to try Teyo versus burn decks, or some of the more aggressive decks. Act of Treasons for like big Gruul decks, Galta decks, big Hydroid Crisis, just to kind of steal and smash them, try to win out of nowhere. Tibalt's versus any life gain, Wild Growth Walker decks, and then Ixalan's Binding's a catch-all, kind of get rid of anything difficult. So we'll run it through. Try to get these spaced out one a day. As well as just keep in mind what we do with these usually is play 1 to 2 games in best of 3, and then we'll play a couple right after in best of 1, just so you can get a feel. I know people have requested it in the past, so I want to just get both variations so we can give a fair summary of how the deck fares. For those who are tuning in either live or for the first time on the channel, we play everything on this channel from budget decks to tier 1 and everything in between. We'll play the special events as well. If you can, something free and easy to help support the channel is hitting that subscribe button. Right now, I don't get anything from YouTube in terms of monetization. Everything I put in is out of pocket until I reach 1,000 subs. So it goes a long way to helping me out and costs you absolutely nothing. So if you could, be greatly appreciated. Now, enough pandering. Let's get to some games. This hand's a little slow, but we'll try it out. Because we have removal, I'm more inclined to play this to start off with. Seeing a white source, if it's like a weenies deck, we're okay. Here I'm going to hide the fact that we have white in the deck. So here I'm just going to pay the 2 mana and shock it. Just be mana efficient. This is a white weenies list. They do get the chance to block, but... And this is what I like with all these haste threats. It's good pressure, especially against kind of slower decks. Tithe Taker in a non-budget version in the sideboard's an interesting option too. Alright, so... If they don't block, I'm going to Defiant Strike to draw a card. Okay. Just end the turn here. Dauntless Bodyguard can protect our Legionnaire. Opponent's on a very slow start. Smothering Tithe. Alright. Mono white control maybe? I'm just going to throw this at the opponent now. We'll try to get them dead as quick as possible. Here I'm going to pay the 2. The reason being is we're likely not going to be playing more than 1 spell a turn. Okay, so they're taking the block here, and I don't know what they're ramping into, but let's not give them the option. And we'll just pass the turn. Probably just going to save this for the 3 damage. Oh, Ketra. Just go face. Again here I'm just gonna pay. So what I want to do is set up one more turn where we can next turn we're gonna heroic. Just pump them up there, get in the 4, and then we'll hopefully just heroic them out if they don't have a creature next turn. I don't understand why these 2 cards are in the same deck. That's not good. It's not good at all. Okay, so we'll just pass the turn here, no blocks. They can take their mana. Well, I don't think we win without attacking here. Lyra's quite a big problem. So they gain 5. So they gain 5, take 7. Yeah. We're dead. Sorry about that. My dog's natural rivals outside. I'm going to bring in the Act of Treasons, the Prison Realms. So take their Lyra. Probably want the Binding as well. They didn't really show... like, this doesn't get rid of some of their bigger stuff. Integrity feels kind of weak. Probably want to go as aggro as possible. Probably shave down the lightning strikes. And the Legionnaires aren't bad. Act of Treasons. The Enforcements, maybe cut down one. Just gonna mute for a sec because of the dog. Sorry about that. So here we gotta do a couple more cuts. Boros Challenger is probably the slowest, so we'll cut this down. Go from there. If they didn't have a Lyra that turn, we would have won. Lyra is kind of rough for us. Play first. Mulligan. His hand does nothing. Hi. Pretty awkward. If we don't draw land next turn, I'm just going to concede this one and we'll fire up another one. Okay, so got there. Next turn, if need be, we can just double Defiant Strike. So, didn't draw land. A little annoying there. So we're gonna attack first, see if they take the block. They don't. Just pass turn here. They'll get another knight. See what they come down with. Second history. A little awkward there. So we need to decide if we just want to get rid of one of these. I think here we invite them for the trade, see what they do. Haven't seen much Benalia around recently. Okay, opponent doesn't want to trade off there. Yeah, so triple Benalia draws are very difficult to beat. We're just gonna force them to block here. They have to. They can double block. They take 5, 8. Okay, they're opting for the 2 double blocks. They hit us again for 8. We're pretty much dead this game. Yeah. Most decks aren't going to beat Benalia, Lyra. Each of those is a bomb on its own. Alright, rough one, but we're back with another one. That's where it gets a little tough. So with the Singleton event coming up, we'll probably play a couple there. Let me know what kind of pokes your interest. I think I'll probably start with a Simic Vannifar deck. Keep that. So depending what they show, we'll either 10th Street first. Okay, so likely Esper. Interesting to see if this is the hero version. Opponent is in a lot of trouble. Ooh, Mardu. Here I'm just gonna get in as much damage as possible, punish them. They might have Moment of Cravings in the deck, so this is actually a pretty relevant way to protect Adanto Vanguard. Okay, so it's a Mardu hero list. Gonna attack with both. So I'm gonna kill this because it gives him a lot of value. We're in a pretty good position. Okay, so they have a second hero. Again, I'm fine with trading here. Just play out our hands. And then the Boros Challenger can pump, and we can also mentor onto like Legionnaire. This is the problem with some of these like 3 colorless. Yeah, so Mardu Aristocrats. So here, probably just do the Grim Initiate. We'll mentor onto him. This basically means that these guys can't profitably block. We'll gladly pay 4. You gotta block one more. So they could sack. Okay, they're changing their mind. Let's see what they go with. Ideally the block could be this here, sack this, give it death touch, kill that. Okay, the 4 life. Opponent's roping. Just to end the turn, so opponent needs a lot in a very little time. It's unlikely they're playing a board wipe based on our deck. So we'll probably bring the Tibalts here. Yeah. Opponent sees the writing on the wall. So I like Tibalts in this matchup. I like Lava Coils. And probably Prison Realms. They most likely have Sorin in their list. Get rid of the Integrities. Probably shave down the number of Defiant Strikes. You know, I'm probably just going to get rid of all of them. Legionnaires aren't bad. We can shave down our reinforcements. Might just go down all the reinforcements. Actually, Legionnaire is probably worse in this matchup because we took out some of the pump spells. Go like that. Run it back. Probably going to bring in more removal anyways. I like Tibalt in this matchup because you could block the tokens, then ping either other tokens. There's a lot you can do there. Opponent is patiently thinking about it. I'm going to take a chance on this hand. If we draw a white source, we're really good. And we're really good at magic, apparently. It's a pretty good, no blocks here. So here I'm gonna just probably play out the two. You can probably race them right now, and I want to save the shock ideally for like a hero. If they attack, I'll probably just throw the bodyguard in front. That's fine. Grim Initiate actually does a pretty good job blocking there. Here, because our hand's got quite a bit of action, I'm fine with trading off. So that's fine. Because we're going to get the tokens anyways, where they're not. And now we just smash in. So even stumbling on lands, like if we hit a land, they're spending time trying to kill our stuff. Just play out an Adanto. Adanto will also be quite hard for them to deal with. And again, based on the cards they kept in, they're not likely to be having like a Cry of the Carnarium. Hey, gotcha. So I'm just gonna jam in with everything. They'll block here, we'll pay 4 life. They're gonna be able to shoot down our Grim Initiate or a Mass Token. Either way, this becomes 2/2. It's fine. They're running out of cards. We're quite far ahead. What do they hit? Grim Initiate. It's fine. We got a 2/2 for next turn. And we followed up with another Legionnaire in the air. Yep. Got him. These 3-color aggro lists tend to stumble on mana, like They're kind of skirting a line between being aggressive. Okay, so we'll claim that. So we'll play a couple best of ones just to get a feel for the deck. Do one or two, and then go eat some dinner. So let me know in the comments if you have more of a preference of watching the Mardu variant or the Naya variant, so either Splash Black, Splash Green for the no budget. I think the Naya version's probably the best one. Keep this hand. Legionnaire we can make quite big if they don't have removal. Second Legionnaire is also good. So here we just want to see... Okay. Got Dread Horde. I think we just race them here. Okay, it's not bad. It lets us play 2 spells next turn. We can also come back with like Integrity. This is probably the Rakdos Aristocrats deck. Okay, so that's pretty solid for us. So I'm just gonna diversify my threats here. Okay, so they do have Bedevil. I like Heroic on top. We can just win next turn. We'll just end the turn here. Next turn Heroic, pumps up everything, and then that should be a game. You are on... Okay. You got me. I guess they're just all in, kinda. It's fine. Okay, can you beat this opponent? So they probably block there. Take the damage. So, unless they can kill us next turn, we have them dead with the Lightning Strike in hand regardless. It's fine. Token did its job. So out aggroing here. So they play Carnival. Dire Fleet. So they probably think they're okay for the turn, but we just Lightning Strike them. And for style, we'll do the upkeep. Just to show them that we had it. Boom. Gotcha. Ya dead. Alright, we'll give it one more quick one. That'll take us to about half an hour with the deck, which is what I like to do for these budget ones. There'll be 2 matches there, so 2 best of 3s, 2 best of 1s, and a deck tech, so it gives you kind of a full demo of the deck. I'll have it up on Aether Hub after for the full list if you want to import it into Arena. Yeah, we'll keep this. prefer if we had a white source on one, but Grim Initiate's pretty good. We might be able to trick them into some weird blocks with Defiant Strike. Okay, could be a couple things there. Could be the actual Gates deck that we played yesterday, or the day before on stream. Could be Gruul Warriors, they usually play some number of them. So here, I'm just gonna not... I'll probably put one more creature down. They usually don't hit the Gates Ablaze until the next turn. Ooh, 5-color gates. So I'm not going to overcommit anymore to the board. Just play this, because next, if they have the board wipe, we can just Dauntless Bodyguard, Heroic Reinforcements, hit them for 6. Okay, now we can play Adanto since we can protect it. So you are on Dauntless Bodyguard, yeah. This Gates deck is too slow for us. Alright, so that takes us about half an hour with the video. Like I said, we had 2 best of 3s and 2 best of 1s, and the deck tech. For those who just tuned in now live, the replay will be up on the channel. If you missed anything, you can check it out. I'll post the full deck list on there as well. I'll try to come back later this week with the mid-budget and the no-budget versions. If you want to get a preemptive look at what the no-budget version will be, or like kind of the mid-budget, just look up any of the red-white feather decks on MTG Goldfish. We'll be playing something likely of that ilk. And then as soon as I get all 3 videos done, I'll do the Reddit write-up as usual, and you can check out everything there. In the meantime, feel free to drop any comments if you have any questions, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe is a free and easy way to help out the channel. If you can hit that little red button in the bottom right, it goes a long way to help things out. Thanks for all those who tuned in live, and have a great evening. Bye.